Okay, this is the machine version on how to roll out pasta. Basically the same process, but our machine's going to do most of the work for us. So this machine has a roller section and our cutter section. I'll show you how to use this. So Topher, he's going to spread out a little bit of flour on the counter, just like we were before when we did this by hand. Oh, and you can work right in front of you there. You like to slam your dough down. It's cute. So little bit of flour on top, and you just want to use your hands to push that out and make it flat into a long oval. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to get this just thin enough so that it can start to fit through our machine. You can use a rolling pin for this if you want to, but I find it pretty easy to do with my fingers, and then we're not overworking the dough. I think that probably looks pretty good. So let's talk about how to use the machine. So for doing it through the machine's going to do a lot of the work for us. We're still going to do the booking process. We're going to start our machine on the widest setting for our rollers. Now, every machine is different. So mine is numbered 0 through 9. 0 happens to be the widest. 9 happens to be the thinnest. On other machines, it's opposite. Just remember to work one at a time, and you're starting at the widest and going thinner as you work. You don't always work through every number. It depends on what dish you're making. We're probably going to go up to 7 for this guy. So we're going to start, and I can hold it for you. You're going to do the rolling and the catching, and you want to turn it that way. You can tell because your rollers are always turning in. And as you're rolling, what you're going to do is you're going to roll with this hand, and you're going to turn at about a pace like that. Not too fast, not too slow. Can you hear the clicking? That's a good pace.
Okay.
Kind of like that. And while you're doing that, this hand can reach underneath, and when this is about halfway out, and this will get more important because our noodle can get up to be about 7 feet, depending on the dough. When it gets about halfway out, have this hand underneath and just guide it out. You don't want to pull it out because you don't want to stretch it. Okay? So I will feed for you. Go ahead and start rolling. And this first time through, depending on how your dough is made, it could come out looking really rough. It can come out in pieces. I've been making pasta for a while, so mine looks pretty good coming out. Don't stop once you start rolling. Keep going. I didn't say that before. The reason you don't want to stop, go ahead and lay that out. The reason you don't want to stop is you want to keep your pasta from sticking to your drums and getting in the gears. So whenever this is even a little bit sticky, a light dusting of flour on top. And yeah, once you do a sprinkle like that, yeah, there you go. Use your hand to get it all over and check the other side. So never stop rolling once you get it in here, even if you're rolling slowly. Now,
that looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah, if you take a look, you can see there are some rough patches and cracks in here. And this is the same thing we were doing before by hand. We're getting this to the right texture. So now you're going to book it in thirds. And when you're booking with the machine, yeah, give it a little press down like that. That's perfect. And when you put it back in, you want to make sure that you're putting it back in open side down. This helps to create a really nice shape for our pasta so that it also fits in the machine. Go ahead and roll. Go a little bit faster than that. There you go. All right, and you can already see this is starting to, well, hopefully you can see on camera, this is starting to smooth out a little bit. It's okay that there's a little bump, but we still have some roughness here and along the edges, and we can feel it's not as smooth as it needs to be. Just like when we hand rolled this, no magic number of times we're going to book. I find it to be between 4 and 6, but it's highly dependent on how your dough was made. So we'll book again. And we're keeping this on the same number. This is still on the widest one. We're not going thinner yet. There we go. Don't worry if it goes a little cattywampus and sideways. It's fine. There you go. So we'll feel our dough. And this can definitely go through one more time, and we might be there after that.
And it's not going to all feel sticky, just what I've noticed so far. It's just like there's just little tiny sticky patches that you want to get covered in the flour.
Yep, there can be spots. Now if your dough comes out a little irregular like this, it's okay to make it a nice rectangle and then fold that part back over. just to keep your shape about the same.
Because it's still going to go through and come out the same.
Exactly. And you can roll a little faster than you have been too. You don't have to go quite that slow. We do a medium speed. There you go. That's good. Like that. You can hear that clicking. Beautiful. Now, look here. This can happen. The dough was a little thicker here, so it started to split apart. This can also happen on the very first roll if your dough is a little dry. Don't worry, it's okay. There'll be additional written instructions on how to take care of this. But for right now, this feels really nice. Feel that dough.
Mm-hmm.
Rub your hand across it. It's very smooth. There's not a lot of bumps or cracks or anything. So we're going to book one more time, and then we're going to start rolling out. And I would, before you do that, I always like to book the broken part to the inside, and that helps it keep it together a little more. And then that, perfect, just like that. That way we have nice even spaces, and it will prevent some further tearing. All right, beautiful. This dough is nice and smooth, and this is ready to go. Now, there's no more booking after this.
Okay.
We're not going to book again, and we're only going to pass it through once on each setting. So we're going to move up to the next number. And if it's sticky at any time, we'll put flour on, but for right now, it's good. You'll notice something I'm going to do. Get used to, when you're making pasta, wear some short sleeves or a shirt you don't care about. As this gets longer, because this noodle could get up to 6 to 7 feet long, laying it on your arm like this will help you with the feeding. And when you get it in there, it's good to let it, just the tip, drape off your fingertips like this into the machine. Go ahead and start rolling, and then you can let the rest just lay, and it'll feed itself through. Beautiful. And this part usually goes pretty quick. We're going to continue to go up through the numbers, making it thinner and thinner until we have one long noodle. Okay, we are on our number 7, which is the furthest I want to go. And you can see our pasta has gotten really long. So we have a nice sheet here to make some ravioli. Oh, it didn't go all the way through.
And it's almost transparent now.
Yeah, you can see some light. Well, probably hard because the light's on the wrong end, but light is coming through this. We want to leave this out flat for the moment. We don't want to stick to itself.
Oh, okay.
So let's get a little bit of flour on the inside, and then we can lightly fold this up and wrap in plastic wrap until we are ready to work with it. You can leave this out to dry as well, but because we're working with ravioli, we need this dough to be malleable when we're ready for it.